Hey everyone, my name is Claudio Pillay with NetBrain. With potentially hundreds of network nodes and interfaces, network assessments often mean assessing only samples of the network, compromising the effectiveness. So let's have NetBrain do it for us. We can easily build all the requirements in the platform and then have NetBrain continuously assess the entire network, every device, interface, and connection as often as we need. Let's see how we can do that. NetBrain's latest release allows us to build intent diagnosis right from a map. Here we have a map open of our Boston Switch 1. We call this feature Quick Intents, and you can reach it from the Intent tab on the map. Say one of the many things we want to assess for is NTP configuration on all our Cisco devices. Let's use a command to retrieve that configuration, and let's create a parser to store the value of the output. Our visual parser allows us to analyze CLI output without the need for coding or scripting. Let's just identify the output lines that we're looking for and replace the relevant values with variable names. Here what we'd like to capture is the NTP server IP, now successfully stored in our variable. Now let's define the diagnosis. This is essentially the assessment we're trying to make. We give it a name and import our variable from before. We want all our network devices to point to server 10.1.1.1 for NTP. So we know if the variable value does not equal that, or if it's empty, we have a problem. Intents make it easy to build this logic. In the case of incorrect NTP, we can configure a diagnosis message to warn us of the misconfiguration. Otherwise, we can give it the all clear. Let's create and run our intent to see if our logic works. Looks like our network intent was able to accurately assess the NTP configuration of our Boston Switch 1. Let's save this quick intent to the map and then use the intent replication wizard to reproduce this assessment for all our Cisco devices. We have two options to replicate, but let's take a closer look at our automation data table. To make use of this intent as a template, we have to specify the target devices. This assessment was made with Cisco devices in mind, so let's filter by device type and select Cisco switches and routers. Here's where we build our automation data table. Let's give it a name and specify the list of devices to populate our table. Let's make sure we collect live data when assessing, and here we rename the column with our intent results. Let's take a look at our new automation data table. Here we see our two columns, one with the list of devices and the other with the intent results. We're not limited to just two. With every intent assessment that we make, we can add this to the network assessment table. We saw the logic built out on Boston Switch 1, so let's check out the results on Toronto Router 1. That's not good. Better to know now before it becomes a problem. Automation data tables are a powerful data structure to hold and reference assessment data. They facilitate more sophisticated automation, but they're not intended for users to consume the data. For that, we have a multitude of options. Let's build a dashboard to present this assessment in an easy-to-glance format. The dashboard for this table comes with three handy default charts, but let's modify one of them for information we'd find more useful. How many devices we have with non-compliant NTP configuration. Wow, out of 35 Cisco devices on this network, 33 are missing the correct NTP config. Let's set up an alert notification for our support staff to take a look and resolve. We could also export the results to include in a report, as seen here from this CSV. Network assessments are easy to build with NetBrain. However, the latest next-gen platform release comes with over 160 of the most useful and common assessments that help you jumpstart your continuous network assessment automation. What we call the Intent-Based Network Assessment Library includes assessments for access layer best practices, fault tolerance and redundancy, security recommendations like NIST and ISO 27000 standards, routing design, and many more. If you'd like to learn more about NetBrain's continuous network assessments, click the link in the description and discover all the ways NetBrain protects your network. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.